Dixie here. Today I want to give you a status update as far as what's going on with my heart, fill you in on Garmin paying out on my policy, and then let you know what trips I have coming up. First things first, I have had several folks asking if Garmin ever paid out on the 50K policy that I had with them once I was helicoptered out of the Sawtooth Wilderness in Idaho. I responded to the comments and the messages that I saw and let folks know that yes, they did finally pay out. Just to give you a little idea of how the process went, on August 28th, I was evacuated by Laugh Flat in a helicopter. On September 6th, I filed my claim with Garmin, and then I was checking in with them every couple of weeks or so to see how it was going so I could update Laugh Flat and let them know what was going on, because of course they're like, hey, where's our money? As of December 27th of 2023, I had not received payment from Garmin, or Laugh Flat hadn't received payment from Garmin, and all I knew is that it was still processing, you know, they were still working on the claim. These things can take a while. So I put out a video that day updating everybody, letting them know what's going on, and stated that Garmin had not yet paid out on that claim. Then on January 2nd, within a week of when I put that video out saying Garmin hadn't paid, I got an email from them saying that they had submitted that $50,000 to Laugh Flat, and that, you know, I would have to contact them about the rest of the balance because that policy didn't cover the entire extraction fee. So I'm sorry that I did not let y'all know sooner, but I was kind of waiting back to find out what was going on with my heart so I could do one big update together. Well, apparently y'all have had my back, because yesterday I got an email from Garmin saying, hey, if you don't mind, could you update that video that says we haven't paid out yet, or at least pin a comment or something, because we've had a lot of people concerned contacting us saying, you know, well, if you haven't paid out on this policy, like, what's going on? So it really wasn't a tedious process except for just the wait. But I am going to continue to use the InReach and Garmin going forward. But again, sorry for not telling y'all sooner. I was just waiting until things got kind of tied up with what was going on with my heart, which kind of happened at the beginning of this month. So let's move on to that. So the last time I gave y'all an update about my ticker, my cardiologist had more or less kind of ghosted me. They told me the day before I went in for my stress test appointment in September that the treadmill was out of the office and they did not know when it would be back in, and they were going to have to call me back. I waited several weeks. I touched base with them, and the lady at the front kind of got an attitude with me, like, I said, I'll call you back when the treadmill's back in. So after waiting a while, I felt kind of frustrated and hopeless. So I thought, you know, my cardiologist is probably about to retire. I've been seeing him since I was 18. So maybe it's time for me to find a new cardiologist in the area anyway. So I booked an appointment with a new cardiologist for the month of December. That was the earliest appointment they had. I found out at the end of November that they were canceling my appointment because the doctor had decided to take off for the month of December, which I don't blame him at the holiday season, but unfortunate for me. So in December, out of desperation, I checked in with my previous cardiologist again and asked them, hey, is your treadmill back in? And they said, actually, we were about to call you because it's going to be back in on Wednesday. So we can go ahead and schedule you for that stress test, that stress echo. So I went in December, got my stress test echo done, got on the treadmill and walked, and had to lay on the table and let them do a little ultrasound thingy on my heart. And I told them, you know, I could walk on this treadmill all day, and I do not think that this is going to trigger anything in my heart. But when I work out in my garage, and especially on days where I'm doing a pool workout, like doing pull-ups, then that's when I really kind of feel it. Just as I imagined, when I went in for my follow-up, the doctor said, well, we weren't able to catch anything on the stress echo that was going on with your heart. Doesn't seem like, from what data we collected, there's anything wrong with your heart. And I was like, okay, then what happened up on the mountain? And he said, well, it could have been altitude sickness. And I was like, with all due respect, I do know that altitude sickness can kick in at any time, even if you've had no previous issues with it before. And although I was only at like 7,000 to 8,000 feet, I do understand that it can happen at an elevation that low, even though earlier in the year I climbed to almost 20,000 feet. But with all due respect, I have had the little fluttery situation going on since then while I'm working out. So what's the explanation for that? So my doctor said, well, you probably do have some type of arrhythmia. Obviously there's something going on and your Apple Watch is telling you that it's potentially AFib, but I don't think it's gonna kill you. And I was like, okay, but can you tell me what this arrhythmia is? Like, can you put a name to it so I can maybe try to research or figure out how to prevent this from happening? And he was like, well, no, I can't put a name to it because we haven't captured it well enough. And I showed him the ECGs that I had captured through the Apple Watch. He said, Apple Watch isn't really a good quality technology. What you need to get is the KardiaMobile app. And if you're able to catch it, then I can give you a name to it. But, you know, I don't think it's gonna kill you. And I'm like, okay, but how do you know it's not gonna kill me if you don't know what it is? So anyway, I got the KardiaMobile device and the app, and I was able to capture some instances. I decided that I don't want to go to the old doctor anymore. I just feel kind of dismissed and like we're not really getting to the bottom of it, but I figured it doesn't hurt to have this device to capture and then see a new cardiologist. Well, by happenstance, I was talking to another one of my doctors about this situation, and he was like, you know, I'm married to an arrhythmia specialist, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that you mentioned that. So he referred me to his wife, and my appointment was set for the beginning of March this month. The day before my appointment, her office called me and told me that they were going to have to cancel my appointment because she was going to be out of the office until August. Now, I assume that something tragic must have happened, or, you know, something serious is going on in their lives to be out from March till August. But I just felt really defeated because to see an arrhythmia specialist, I really need a referral. And since my doctor was kind of brushing it off, I don't feel like I'm going to get that referral to another one. So I'm kind of just back at square one. The good news is my grandmother had a cardiologist appointment with a different cardiologist, and I take her to her appointments. And I was talking to him about the situation. He looked at my Apple Watch ECGs and said he agrees that it doesn't look like AFib, but some other type of arrhythmia. He told me that the Apple Watch technology is the same technology as the KardiaMobile device technology. So the Apple Watch ECG, he said, is fine to use it to look at. But of course, he's not my doctor. He wasn't seeing me. So that's just the little bit that he was able to kind of reassure me a little bit. So anyway, I probably have some type of arrhythmia that is probably not going to kill me. And at this point, I will probably find another cardiologist, try to get in with that same one that I was trying to make my new cardiologist from the beginning, and get a second opinion with him, and then maybe he can refer me to a specialist if I'm like, no, I really just want to know what this is called. I just needed to take a little breather from the whole cardiology experience. But with that said, I am gonna say that I'm getting back out and starting to backpack again because I'm about to go stir crazy. But I should also mention that my heart hasn't felt weird when I've been out day hiking. So with that said, what trips do I have coming up? First, a little trip to Florida where I will be hiking and camping, just kind of slowly trying to ease back into the backpacking experience, and that video will come out next week. Then I am gonna go chasing the eclipse with Aaron. We've got a little backpacking trip lined up if the weather will cooperate. And on that trip and several other trips going forward, I'm gonna be testing out my new pack, which is the ULA Ultra Catalyst, so I'm pretty excited for that. I just got it in the mail. And then in June, I'm going overseas again, and I'm going to Scotland to do the West Highland Way. But I will keep you posted as more plans end up coming up. I just want to say before I go, thank y'all so much for hanging in there with me from August till now, because it's been tough to not get out there and do the thing that I love to do most. And I'm sure, you know, the informational videos only do so much for entertainment, and I hate that I couldn't get out there and share those trail experiences with you. So I'm excited to do that now going forward. Be looking for that video next week from Florida, because we're gonna premiere it so that way everybody can watch it together. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see y'all next time.